Open game.
Hey, you said it, Blue. Open game. We back again. This is episode 20. We got a special episode today. We've got some guests from different locations. Laxman Drivas is from San Jose, correct?
Correct.
Right on. And then we got Kenton Hundley. And you down in San Diego.
San Diego.
Right on.
Present.
Hey,
There you go.
welcome.
This is a special episode because we're going to be talking about Run EOB, which is the Oakland Running Marathon that's coming up, the Oakland Running Festival, excuse me. And this is for 2022. It's March 20th. And so this episode is all about running and you know, being in shape, exercising, health. We do have 8 workshops dedicated to health. So we'll talk about that. Well, welcome back, Lex. It's good to see you again. We've had like a little break, man. How you feeling?
Feeling crazy. Is it me? Is the world just getting crazier every day?
It's getting crazy.
What the hell's going on?
You are not.
I need answers.
How often do I hum that song now? Right? You be at a traffic light, right? Just like you are not.
You have to affirm it to yourself because otherwise you'll go crazy.
We got lovely ladies back in with us. Chanel McFarland and Tanika Blue. Welcome back. It's been a minute since we did an episode and seen you all.
Yes, happy to be back.
Happy to have you.
Loving all these beautiful faces.
Yeah. We all look like we are having a good one. We've been busy, but we're here and present. Laxman and Kenton, thank you guys for being our special guests for today. Really appreciate it. Let's talk about running. What is it, Laxman, that you how did you get into running? What's going on with your background real quick?
So for me, I started running when I was about 15. I grew up in the hood in the east side of San Jose, and I had issues with school and being one of those cats that didn't function in the regular schooling system. So I had to be bounced around at a couple different schools. And I ended up at the school called the Foundry. This school was a foundry. It was a school that like took in, it was our last resort type of spot. And it changed my life, man. They had this, they had a circle. Every day you sat in a circle and you talked and they taught us a lot about the Red Road. And part of that, if people don't know what the Red Road is sober, native living type of road where you're for the community, for the tribe, for the people type of thing. And in that school, we had in order to stay in the school, you had to run 6 miles. Like that was, you couldn't be in the school without running 6 miles. And they wanted to show you that anybody can do it. Anybody can run. Like 6 miles might seem like a lot for a 15-year-old, but once you start putting your one foot over the next, in prayer, because that's what they were teaching you about, you're running in prayer, you're running for other people, you're running for the earth, you're running for a purpose. And so it all started there. I started running with them, and I'm still a part of that running team. 20 years now. Yeah.
Yes, that's powerful.
Yeah.
That is super powerful.
500-mile Native American spirit runners. It started from the AIM movement. We've been running strong. This will be our 44th year.
Amazing. Yeah. Did you ever get a chance to meet Dennis Banks?
Oh yeah, I walked with him. I went on the longest walk. Walked right next to him, talked to him for miles and miles and miles. Stayed at different reservations with him. Yeah.
Oh man, I want to talk to you some more, man.
Yeah.
Right.
That's greatness right there, man. Yeah.
That was just a snapshot of it all. And I know that there's so much more in detail that, you know, you have to share with us. But I know we have another guest, so we want to introduce our next guest. Thank you for sharing, though.
Big love, big love.
Thank you. Yes. Kenton. What's up, brother Kenton? We have a history, man. But what's your history running?
Man, as my man was speaking just now, it hit on so many different levels. My personal history is running. I hated running growing up. I played soccer and basketball and football, and running was punishment. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking about it today, like playing soccer most of my life growing up. I grew up outside of DC in Northern Virginia. And now looking back and having coached kids in soccer is all about running, right? But when they say, oh, y'all messing up, you got to hit the road, you know, my freshman football coach would just yell fence, or don't even bring your cleats tomorrow, we running, right? And I just dreaded it. And then when my 16-year-old was probably a toddler, her mother and her father, they would go running in the mornings before work, and I'd be ironing my clothes, just tired. You know, we got a little kid, and they would just come. I could just hear them outside the window, just giddy, and I'd be like, I want what she got. You know what I'm saying? This early in the morning. And then slowly but surely, her father took me to a park, and I grew up with asthma also. So I think that's also a big part of the fear of running, right? And he and I joke about it to this day. The first time I went to the park, he was like, "How you doing?" I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like literally felt like my lung is over there.
Was that like a block away?
A block, man. That's the funny part. It was a kid soccer field, homie. But I was dying running across the field. But as Laxman said, for me now, having gone through a difficult breakup with her, in 2017, I lost my job at the end of 2017. And so then I was like, what do I do? And I'd already started running. I completed a couple half marathons, but then it got like personal. You know what I'm saying? A lot of it was, I'm running for my children so they can see a good role model, see daddy exercising. You know, Scribe, you remember back in the day having Maya in the jog stroller, you know what I'm saying? See you at the events, right? And like, where you come out, just hit a run right quick, you know what I'm saying? But now, man, I call it my moving meditation, especially in these last 2 years. It's my moving meditation. I call it pedestrian prayer. When my man was speaking about the Spirit Run, when I read the book, I don't know if y'all are familiar with the book by, is it Noe Garcia, maybe? But the Spirit Run, where the Native brothers and sisters run from Alaska to Central America from Argentina. I didn't realize it until I started reading that book. Our band years ago here in San Diego welcomed them to San Diego County. And just running just offers so many connections all the time, whether it's through people on an airplane, you know what I'm saying, or just people talking about like an old lady at church told me she ran is it the Big Sur half marathon that goes across that famous bridge? Okay. My daughter had mentioned her when I was in Long Beach doing the Long Beach half. Well, my daddy's not here today. He's running a half marathon. Very next week, I'm connected with this old lady I've seen for years, you know what I'm saying? And she ran this back in the 80s. So it's just, you know, we'll talk about the health aspect, but it's just every day I can be me alone with God, me alone with the sunset, me alone with the sunrise, me, oh, I saw a coyote on that trail. No, you didn't. You'll never know because you was still at home asleep.
He wasn't there.
So there's just so much, man.
Okay, man, two different stories from two different folks that never met, but you guys have so many similarities. It's a beautiful thing to recognize that we're all coming from the same beginning and what it means to run, you know? In some cases, some people don't even realize that that's why they're doing it, but they feel it, you know, they feel the need to run, and it's not always about themselves, is it? You know, and where you go, and there's just so much to say, but let's quickly ask Lex, are you into running?
Okay, well, I got a bunch of things to say here. You just dropped some knowledge and some wisdom about meditating and running, and I think that's so important. So I just want to give you many props for saying that. That's right. So anyway, yeah, running, man. I had some questions. I answer your question, Scribe. I was not into running because I was I saw the Boston Marathon as a kid, and I saw like a woman, and she was like hitting the finish line, and she had mad diarrhea down her leg. And I was like, that's not for me.
Wow. That's one heck of a memory to tell.
You know what, man? The homie hit me up after the Long Beach half, like, you ain't shit yourself, did you? And I was like, come on, man. Like, if I did, that's private. My running is my running.
You guys are scaring me. Is this
what's going on in my diaper is not your business.
But it's either, hey, look, people either say running hurts my knees, or I saw this lady in the Boston Marathon once, and that's why I don't run.
I mean, that's like she won, but like I can't remember. That's all I remember is just that mud just running down the leg.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll edit that out.
So thereafter, you did no running. You were like, I'm not interested.
It
No
hurts.
turkey trotting, none of that. I ain't mad at you because I don't do no running now. My knees is not made for running.
Okay, Blue's not running.
No.
All right.
I'm not running, but I will be there to support the runners.
You're gonna
Hello.
be there, definitely. I hope
Period.
so.
Likewise.
What's your
Likewise.
story in running?
I'm sorry, did you say my name?
Yeah. What's your story?
Sorry. Well, I don't have a long one because you know my running is typically in place. I'm usually on a treadmill or something, even though I will admit, like I love nature. I love to walk. But I'm not a good runner. It's just never been my thing, you know?
Okay, it's all right. It's all right. It's not for everybody. And you know, I'm sure there's something else that takes its place. And maybe we could share that because Kenton, for example, Laxman, they're running. I don't know if you guys go out and do anything else, but I think running takes a lot. And I used to run in high school and I ran for different reasons, but I feel like once you get into it, it's something that you don't want to let go. And I feel like it's different experience every time. And you want to keep exploring what your body can do, what you're capable of, how far can you go? What does it mean when you get that far? Does it recreate who you are as a physical being, maybe in a spiritual way? Accomplishments, right? And Lakshman, what you said was very interesting and very important at the same time. I read in a magazine quite a while back. I wish I remembered what magazine it was. I'm terrible at holding on to things and remembering, but it stated exactly what you said about running for people's causes, running for other people. Can you reiterate that again, like maybe for an example and talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, well, so that's the way I was taught how to run when you're hurting inside and when you're going through, when running gets hard, take yourself out of yourself and put that energy into someone else or something, right? Right now, the 500-mile running team is running for missing and murdered Indigenous peoples. So we're running, this year, we run every year 500 miles in June. We do 100 miles a day relay from different reses. And we're running for causes. We're running for missing and murdered Indigenous people. So it takes you out of yourself and it puts the energy into something bigger than us, because the world and the earth and everything that we're going through and the people is bigger than just me. It's not just about me. It's about the whole. It's about the circle. So yeah, that's the way I live my life. Blessed up.
Thank you.
I love that.
We gotta pull you into our circle. We want to share with you a lot more of what's going on and bring you into our experiences and events and our community. And we would love to go and visit your community, man, and share stories and experiences. Because there's a reason why I kept your number for that whole time.
For real.
You know?
Yep.
And it's really amazing that you all touch upon running for a cause, because we have some folks that we've enlisted in running the festival this year with us that are running for suicide awareness and, you know, causes that are close to their hearts. So as I'm enlisting people about the run, you know, I'm sharing that, you know, it's not just to do a marathon. It's like what's close to your heart that you would like to strive for and put that love into the pavement and that energy into the universe that helps you. So I thank you guys for sharing your stories and both from different places, right? But actually how parallel they are. So yes, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Are you bringing some? So my question also, Laxman, is: are you bringing some runners with you?
I can. I'm a middle school counselor, and I work at a middle school on the east side, and I have a running team. Unfortunately, because of COVID, I haven't been able to really put my running team in full effect. But I have adult runners that I would like to bring. I mean, I wish I could probably pull out some runners that have graduated already and that are still a part of the team, some youngsters, because I like bringing youngsters along. I like to show what the youngsters can do, and to see what the next generation is holding down for the future. These kids are doing some big things, and they're running for some causes and putting their energy on the line and their body on the line, in a spiritual way and in a healthy way. I mean, we can all go out there and stand and do things, but when we put our energy like full force towards something, and we have love in our heart, and we put one foot after the other, major big things can happen. And to see youth doing it is what, like, I think it's kind of my purpose in life, is to show youth their strength and what they can give and what they can bring.
Right.
May I piggyback off of that a little bit?
Yeah.
Because as Laxman was, as Chanel was speaking, Laxman had this smile on his face, and I don't know about you, brother, but I'm like, yo, I can't wait to run next to this dude just to pick his brain. You know what I mean? And kind of like, because I asked myself, you know, why am I doing this, right? I love running, but this training ain't no joke. You know what I'm saying? It's fun. It's Scribe mentioned it a little bit earlier. You know, goal setting, whether it's small goals, whether it's like, yo, I'm tired, get to the next street post. You know what I'm saying? Like, get to the next street light. I hope that light turns red so I can catch my breath. I mean, because it's personal, right? Depends on what I ate, how much I slept, if I argue with my teenagers, and you know what I'm saying? Like, all that stuff affects your body movement, right? But one of the things that I find beautiful that he mentioned right now is, you know, like my parents, are back east, and their age is declining rapidly. And, you know, yesterday I was running, I had a 40-minute run on my training schedule. And one thing I do to kind of distract myself at times if I'm running in the streets is I count the yellow lines, right, in the street. Like I just count and I get lost in numbers. But what I started doing sometime during COVID is I spell out somebody's name. So like my mother's name is Karen Ann Reeves, right? So K-A-R-E, and then that somehow turns into a prayer, right? And then I don't know if y'all are familiar with Meb. I know Scribe is. He's a San Diego famous, America's most famous marathoner, perhaps. But he grew up in San Diego. And after the bombing at the Boston Marathon, there was a vigil here in San Diego, and he was there speaking. And one of the things he said was so simple. And he's like, you know, when I get tired and don't want to run, I just say the Lord's Prayer. I was like, yo, this is a gold medal. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is like the fastest marathon. And it's just so simple, something we learn as little kids, right? So the idea, like, you know, I don't know, like I'm running, I'm pounding the pavement, pounding the trail, whatever. And each step might just be thanking God for, you know, my knee works today. You know, thank God my children know daddy's out doing something healthy right now. Thank God, you know, dad took me to soccer practice all them years and I still have the desire to compete at something, right? So it's, I feel until you get into spaces like this, folks don't realize it's so much more than just running. Because yeah, sometimes running sucks, right? And how many times do people say, I don't run unless somebody's chasing me? But you know what I'm saying? But like I'm chasing something. I'm chasing the best version of me. I'm chasing this gratitude for today that God woke me up. Whatever God you believe in, universe woke me up. The sun came through my window this morning. It's rain, whatever it might be. You know, I was thinking about it yesterday. I was on a run years ago outside of BWI airport, and the brother driving the shuttle back to the airport, he's like, yo, it was like 16 degrees. Like, yo, I seen this brother running this morning. He must have been crazy be running out here. And I was like, was he wearing a jacket, blah, blah, like this? He's like, oh, that was you. But that conversation about running, he was an aspiring spoken word artist. And that's how Scribe and I know each other, through spoken word, right? And so again, a conversation about running turned into me telling this young brother, yo, chase your dreams, man. That's how I ended up in San Diego. I told my pops, I'm going out there, I'm chasing sunsets. You know what I mean? But you never know what's in that journey, what's coming within that journey. And that's what running is every day. You know, today, you know, your thigh could hurt. Tomorrow you might feel good for 8 miles. Tomorrow, you know, the next day you might suck for 6 miles, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But it's such a spiritual, it's an uplift and it's a dig deep every single time I go out the door, you know?
Absolutely. Uplift and a dig deep. Come on, Kenton.
Kenton started to get into some of the health aspects, you know, and I think a lot of what you were saying was mental, you know, you're overriding the physical to obtain a mental and spiritual form that you prefer to have, because like you said, it is a challenge to get there. So when you do that and you make it through, I feel like you lift, you know, your spirits are lifted. And I feel like Laxman was saying, you know, doing things for other people, that through you and that energy and upliftment, I feel that you are providing for others to gain from that as well, because you are a sharing person to begin with. And when it you know, shines from you, for example, there's nothing left but to be around and to give anyone who's in your presence, you know what I'm saying? And not to say that you're providing for people in that manner, but just it's just giving positive energy from something that you just did that's very challenging. And it's being selfless, actually, you know, to share that, because you're providing for those that can't run, you're providing for those that can't speak, you're providing for those that are being attacked, you know, like you were saying, for certain causes. So with that being said, Laxman, what can you say about health that you might have gained, or that you feel you are doing it to gain?
So for me, I mean, I'm a pretty healthy dude. I was luckily, even though I was raised in the hood and raised kind of crazy, my parents raised me vegetarian, and I've never eaten meat in my life. And I've been vegan for 10 years now. So that's a big part, like what we put in our body, how you prepare for a run, what you're eating the night before run, like all these different things play a huge factor in like how you run, like especially if you're doing a marathon, right? You better be taking care of yourself. You better be putting some healthy things in your body in order to go and push your body that far before it breaks down, because it's going to break down.
Yeah.
Right. And then you got the mental game in it, which is part of it too. But for me, honestly, to be completely honest, it's mental health for me. I was one of those kids that used to cut themselves and was super depressed, attempted suicide a couple times. And I found running to be what saved me, to be honest with you. Like, I went to therapy, I did things, but going out there alone and running with myself and my thoughts,
man.
I had to get through some major things. And the only way to do it for me personally, that's just me, was to go out there and run it out and figure it out and talk to myself. No, you got this. You can do this. If you can do these 6 miles, if you can do these 10 miles, you can get through anything. Life is beautiful. Don't worry about it. Look at the trees, look at the sky, look at all that Creator gave to us. You know what I'm saying? So it's more about mental health than anything for me.
Thank you. Ooh, I'm getting goosebumps over here, because it's real out here in these streets.
Right. It's real.
Yeah. You know, I remember when in middle school that we had a thing called the turkey trot, and we would do it around like Thanksgiving time. And that was one of the things that I remember our PE teacher saying is, even if you don't run it as fast as someone else, the fact that you're doing the run is what matters. So don't rush yourself. We've created enough time and enough space for you in order for you to do whatever needs to be done out there, but just give yourself that chance to explore it. So as you both share about being educators and influencers of the next generation, I know that having that concept and construct of thinking has helped me in other areas of my life. Yeah,
absolutely. Okay, so we're gonna move to the end of this. We're gonna wrap it up with Kenton. We'll come back to you, Laxman. Kenton, can you tell us, what have you been doing to prepare for a full marathon?
Honestly, a lot of it is talking. When you first hit me up, man, I was like, how long can I go without texting this dude back, right? Straight up, I was like, because Scribe is, y'all know Scribe, like he'll just show up somewhere and be ready to go, whatever it is, right? Like, yo, I just got in town, I'm doing a show tomorrow at such and such, show up at 9, like, I ain't heard from you in 6 months, right? But knowing, a big part of it for me is knowing it's for the youth, right? It's for it's for a youth organization, and I've worked as an adult my whole life for children. So when he hit me up, and then reaching out to other runners who I know have done full marathons, and they're telling me, you know, you've been running all these years, man, you got it, right? And then for me, it's just, you know, I remember when I finished my first 10K race, a young woman told me, now just imagine doing that twice, dude, that's a half. I'm like, I'm trying to get to the beer garden because I'm spent, right? but straight up, yo, like straight up, like her saying that now, she told me the truth. You're just going to do 2 of these, right? And so like the other night I'm running, I'm following a training plan to answer your question. I'm following a training plan from Runner's World, right? So when I answered Scribe, I didn't say, yes, I'll run the marathon. I said, yes, I'll agree to the training, because I respect that you have, and now I understand that I'm doing it, why people are full on tears at the finish line, right? Because like we've been talking about, it's such a spiritual, yes, it's personal, but I've been doing this for all the people that are important to me. I've been doing it for my 5th grade PE teacher who said, Kenton, I have asthma too. Look, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can still be an athlete and be asthmatic. You can still, you know, have parents that are aging, and it breaks your heart to see your kids on the phone with them or FaceTiming them. But I feel good knowing that those 2 people created this body. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All those experiences brought me to right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So physically, I'm drinking more water this cycle because as my man said, I know I had to understand I'm gonna thrash my body, right? That's a big understanding. Like, it's gonna hurt, it's gonna suck at times, as people say, but more water, more fresh fruits. I'm also vegetarian. I do eat eggs, so I've been trying to eat eggs more often. When my girls aren't with me, eating breakfast for dinner, pancakes for dinner, carb loading, as they say. But just trying to, and acceptance also that I'm hungry all the time because I'm training for a full marathon. So if I need some junk food in my diet this week, nothing too bad, but if I want to crush a pizza, I'm gonna crush a pizza. You know what I mean? Because I need to replenish lost calories, and that's real. And then just keeping this water bottle with me all the time. You know what I'm saying? And when I finish a run, if I didn't clear out the water in my Camelback, finish it when I'm watching TV or when I'm doing something for work here at home. Because and then yoga. I've been doing yoga every day this calendar year. I start off every year with, I don't know if y'all familiar with Yoga with Adrian on YouTube. And she does a yoga January challenge every year. But I felt so good with it alongside this training marathon training plan. I've kept on with yoga every day so far this month. And I'm going to try to do that through March 21st, right? Because I know I'm going to need it the day after. But that spiritual connection is what gets me out of the house. And I dare I say I'm cold if I'm running at the beach in San Diego because y'all are up north, right? But if it's 48 degrees and my hands are cold because I'm near the water, like my man said, I'm suffering for somebody else. And in this case, it's for this event that Scribe invited me to, because he knows from day one, the first time I ever met him in a studio, we both want children to feel good about themselves and have someone they can look up to and say, yo, if that old dude can do it, I can do it. Whether it's spitting a spoken word piece or getting on an album or seeing a homie on Spotify or seeing an old dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, one of my students is a grown woman now. And she's like, Mr. K, I remember when you finished your first 5K. You were dead, dude. But I'm still doing it, right? You know what I'm saying? But there's so much into it. And I'm just so glad to meet you guys ahead of this. And it's because it's going to be a lot of hugs. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, this is going to be incredible.
It's going to be a lot of hugs. It's going to be a lot of...
I got a couple pointers from you. Laxman, you got a marathon coming up in how many days?
Oh, so next month I'm doing one. We're running from San Jose to the Mission. So let me just say, I've never done a race before.
Okay.
I've never done a race before. I've only run for causes.
Okay.
I just did a marathon from EPA, East Palo Alto, to East San Jose for Unity. My boy just throws it once a year. We go and we meet there, and then we run with these Unity flags with fists and different colors all around in a circle. And we have supporters along the way, and we run for a cause. So this will be my first, like, wearing a bib, I guess, or something like that.
Are you talking about for the March 20? Are you talking about that? Okay.
Yeah, for the March 20th. So the one that
you got 2 runs, it sounds like, in the month of March.
Yeah. So I got a
right. Thank you. That's the same look I'm feeling like.
Okay. So that's your preparation. Is you just run all the time? Okay. So that's something.
I'm starting to run again because my knee was hurting a little bit. I'm getting older. You know, I do a lot of other things. I kickbox. I'm a personal trainer. I also work at a gym called F45, and so I do a lot of HIIT workouts, a lot of HIIT, kickbox 3 times a week. So my cardio's up, but I need to get my running game back on, and I'm actually starting this week to prepare for this next run where we run from San Jose to one of the missions to protest against, you know, what's going on with the Native communities. So I feel like even the last run I did, I didn't fully prepare or train. I just lead with my heart, man, and I put one foot over the next. And I know I stay healthy. My grandma was a Black Panther, so she always told me to stay ready and stay prepared. So right. I'm always ready. I'm always prepared. If I need to run a half marathon, if I need to run a marathon, I'm gonna make it happen.
So, that's what I'm trying to get to, man.
Like
You're a major inspiration. That's both of you gentlemen. That's so powerful.
It is.
Absolutely.
It's amazing. I'm so grateful to have all of you on here, and for Laxman and Kenton for you to join us as special guests and to share a little bit about yourselves as well as running and what's coming up. So March 20th, we're going to do Run EOB, which is a get together for the organization Elders of the Block. And we got Laxman and Kenton that's going to be coming through. I'm really excited for this. We're going to keep in touch and talk about it some more. I need some pointers from you guys, some counseling. I need to get ready mentally, physically, spiritually for this thing. So thank you all for joining. EOB, this is episode 20, and you're going to catch us at the Oakland Running Festival, March 20th.
One love, y'all. Thank y'all so much for interviewing with us.
Thank you so much.
And we will see y'all next month.
Yep.
March 20th.
My name is Amon Lewis. I'm a part of the Youngsters of the Block Building Block, and we are going to be racing at the Oakland Run Festival.
In the house and I'm a Mac, but today I'm a soldier, so remember to keep it black. We stand for something, you stand for something. If we don't stand up, then we ain't nothing. We stand for something, you stand for something. If you don't stand up, then we ain't nothing. We stand for something, you stand for something. If you don't stand up,